The Department of Transportation now requires truck drivers to speak and read English proficiently.
America, Trump's English proficiency mandate for truck drivers is working exactly as designed, and the panic is absolutely real. In just 30 days, 1,500 commercial drivers have pulled off American roads because they can't speak English well enough to read warning signs or communicate with police. But here's what's really wild. Driving schools across the border are now scrambling to offer emergency English classes because Mexican drivers are realizing that they might lose their livelihood. We're talking about hombres who've been driving 80,000-pound vehicles for decades without being able to read steep grade ahead or understand bridge out.
Well, in case you missed it, Mexican big rig drivers on U.S. roadways are taking classes to learn English. In an executive order, President Donald Trump set English fluency standards for these drivers.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Now, I reported on this issue months ago when we discovered that illegals were getting CDLs without proper English testing. Well, Trump's executive order is finally fixing this dangerous loophole, and the results are immediate. Let me break down what's happening across Mexico and American Southwest. Trucking companies in Juarez are sponsoring emergency English classes for their drivers because they realize that their entire workforce might be banned from American roads.
A truck industry executive from Juarez says his drivers are already familiar with English language road signs and Texas motor vehicle regulations. However, he and other industry leaders worry drivers may struggle to communicate their understanding of road signs if stopped and questioned by law enforcement officers.
A truck industry executive from Juarez admits his drivers might know road signs, but they worry drivers may struggle to communicate their understanding of road signs if stopped and questioned by law enforcement officers. Think about that. They can't explain what a stop sign means if a cop asked them. Here's what one English instructor revealed about the panic. It's incredible. They come knowing just the basics they learned in school, like, the basic words like or, truck, car.
It's incredible. They come knowing just the basic they learned at school, like, basic words like or, truck. This is the only words they know, and through the days, through our hard effort, they're starting to learn how to communicate.
These truck drivers know words like the and truck. That's it. And we've been letting them operate 80,000-pound vehicles on American highways for decades. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy's enforcement is already showing dramatic results. In Alabama alone, state troopers have issued some of the first tickets under Trump's executive order. Drivers from Texas and Florida who couldn't speak English during traffic stops.
This is a ticket written by a state trooper in DeKalb County against a truck driver from Texas. This one, the driver was from Florida. What they have in common? The tickets say the drivers couldn't speak English.
Mark Colson from Alabama Trucking Association explains what's really happening. It's all about safety. It's about being able to read the rules of the road and being able to communicate with law enforcement and the general public. Duh.
It's all about safety. It's all about being able to read the rules of the road, being able to communicate with law enforcement and the general public.
But here's what really gets me. A bilingual truck driver named Jose Reyes said he had to translate for drivers who have been in accidents. He says, I think it would shock a lot of people. Drivers out here on the road, they're operating 80,000 pounds and it's super dangerous and they can't communicate or read road signs.
I think it would be a shock to a lot of people. Drivers are out here on the road, they're operating 80,000 pounds, and it's super dangerous, and they can't communicate, they can't read road signs.
Even bilingual drivers admit it's absolutely dangerous, and it is. They're saying other drivers cannot communicate and they cannot read road signs while operating massive trucks. Here's the part that should make every American furious. This English proficiency requirement has been federal law since the 1930s. But guess what? The Obama administration deliberately stopped enforcing it in 2016, putting political correctness over American lives.
Allowing drivers who cannot read stop signs or understand police officers' instructions to operate an 80,000-pound big rig threatens the safety of every American on our roadways.
Secretary Duffy put it perfectly, allowing drivers who cannot read stop signs or understand police officers' instructions to operate 80,000-pound big rigs threatens the safety of every American on our roadways. For 8 long years, the Obama administration ignored this safety requirement. How many Americans died in accidents that could have been prevented if drivers could read warning signs? How many crashes happened because drivers couldn't understand police instructions?
There's numerous examples across the country where we've had people who are operating this kind of equipment who can't speak the language, and the results have been devastating and have taken the lives of so many American families. That's going to end right now.
Secretary Duffy revealed the truth, the numerous amount of examples across the country where we've had people who were operating this type of equipment who couldn't speak the language, and the results have been devastating. And they have taken lives of so many American families. That is going to end right now. Now that Trump is enforcing existing law, the panic is spreading throughout the trucking industry. Mexican drivers are finally realizing they should have learned English a long time ago.
But what happens when the inspector asks me for this?
Montes says he encourages his students not to just learn the basics of a traffic stop, but rather to continue developing their English comprehension.
One instructor says he encourages students not just to learn the basics of traffic stops, but rather continue developing their English comprehension. But here's the problem. They're trying to cram decades of language learning into a few weeks because they ignored the law for years. One driver finally admits the truth.
No, they say a long time ago is that I needed to speak in English. But and today is more necessary from the cross the border.
A long time ago. Really? You didn't think you need to speak English to operate commercial vehicles on American roads? That's exactly the attitude that got us into this mess. Here's what I love about this story. Even the trucking industry supports Trump's enforcement. The California Trucking Association said they'll work to ensure enforcement is objective and consistent with federal regulations.
Speaking English, it's crucial out here, not just speaking it, but being able to understand it, because we're driving across the country, places you're not familiar with, and so you need to be able to read road signs, understand what's going on out there on the road.
One anonymous trucker explained why this actually matters. Speaking English is crucial out here, not just speaking it, but being able to understand it. Even drivers for whom English is their second language support this requirement. As one reporter noted, I actually spoke to a lot of truckers off camera, and every single one of them thought this was a good idea.
Now, I actually spoke to a lot of truckers today off camera, and every single one of them thought that this was a good idea.
Real professional drivers understand that safety requires communication. They want competent drivers sharing the road, not people who need Google Translate to talk to police officers. America, this is exactly what common sense governance looks like. Trump took federal law that's been in the books since the 1930s and simply started enforcing it. The results? 1,500 dangerous drivers removed from American roads in just 30 days. The panic among Mexican drivers proves they knew this was coming. They've been operating illegally for years, ignoring English requirements while putting American families at risk. Now they're scrambling to learn basic English because they finally face real consequences. I reported on this issue months ago when we discovered how illegals were getting CDLs without proper testing. The system was broken. Obama made it worse by stopping enforcement, and Trump fixed it with one executive order. When you're operating an 80,000-pound vehicle at highway speeds, you need to read road signs, understand traffic signals, and communicate with law enforcement. That's not discrimination. That's basic safety. The fact that trucking companies now sponsor emergency English classes proves their drivers weren't qualified. They just didn't care until Trump started enforcing the law. This is what America First looks like in practice, prioritizing American safety over political correctness, enforcing existing laws instead of ignoring them, and holding foreign drivers to the same standards we expect from American drivers. This is what happens when you have leadership that puts American lives before foreign convenience. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.